Welcome to another episode of Weld.com. And we did a video long time ago when Man Cub was just a wee bloke, and it was about, we ran all these different kind of rods, and I think we challenged the viewers on a question about why would you run AC, and we had some correct answers right away, and it was about the arc blow issue. But today we've had more viewer requests. Now, what rods run on alternating current? What can you do with alternating current? Today I'm going to run off of the new AHP AlphaTIG 201 XD. I've set this machine up on alternating current. I'm down and dirty on 60 Hertz, 50%, so this should be like any kind of a buzz box. You know, I know a lot of folks that still have the old buzz box laying around in the barn. It's got like 2 inches of dust on it, and they think, I really can't weld with that. You know, believe it or not, you can weld even some critical stuff. So here's the deal. 6011 runs alternating current, DCEP, high cellulose potassium. It's designed to run on either polarity. You can run 7018. 7018 runs alternating current, DCEP. 6013 is another general purpose rod. You can run it on any polarity. And a lot of people overlook the fact that there's a lot of stainless rods. They'll run alternating current and DCEP. So, let's expand on 7018. Let's go 8018 B2. That's chrome moly. Let's go 9018 C1 or C2 or something. Got some nickel to it. You can weld some critical stuff. A little more spatter, and then to back up on that, now this is just me. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've never seen code procedures written with alternating current electrodes or alternating current polarity. I've always seen it DCEP. A lot of your engine drives that we use in the field, they're direct current only. In any event, hey, well, let's get back to, we'll run, this is a 332, 316 stainless steel, 332 7018, and I have some organic green 60. Yep, that's organic for sure. 6013, 1/8 inch. So I want to do, how about we start out with 105 amps, and we'll do this lap weld, and I'll kind of come around the corner. Hopefully I'll run this entire rod. I get down here to the end. A lot of times when I'm doing T-welds and stuff, even some groove welds, when I get up to the top or I get to the end of a fillet weld, might have a little arc blow. Some of you may have noticed that. Your weld pool goes weird and it spatters a couple of places and spits. Arc wanders. That's arc blow, okay? Not going to get it with alternating current. Will not happen, okay? Let's weld. Sorry I moved the plate when I started. I was going to try to impress you and stab that in there and put some pressure on it. And so, like right here, where the plate moved, and that's why it's thin. But if you look at that beautiful profile, isn't it beautiful? The profile along there is pretty consistent. Yes, it does have a little more spatter, but another thing that's important is when I rounded the corner, I actually stood the rod up a little bit, changed my angle, and came across here, so I didn't blow the corner up with undercut. It's got some slag on the toe of the weld. I can't get off there I need to go wire brush it. Anyway, hey, alternating current, no arc blow. I came all the way out here to the edge without anything getting weird, and I kind of filled that up right there. Are you paying attention? So now we'll do the other side with 7018. I'll do this side I'll start out here and do the same thing, and I'll come across here with 7018. Can't be blocking you. I'm not going to make it. I'm going to run out of rod. I ran out of rod. I could not make it all the way to the end. I'm not going to, plus I was kind of forcing a bad position here with angle, but the weld was going in okay. But I'm not one to, yes, I know I'm running out of rod. I'm going to race out and try to get to the end. It's going to mess with your bead width, consistency, everything. I'll just stop. I cleaned the crater off. I could continue on, or I could start over. I could switch hands, start in the corner and come back over here and stop on top of that stop. I'm gonna go cool this off, buff it off. I'll be back in a sec. This doesn't even sound like AC. Smells like it though. Yeah, that kind of looks rough, doesn't it? Dark gray, ropey. Yeah. Looks kind of strange. Cool. And this is the slag. This stuff really stays hot for a long time. I've been hit by this using pneumatic chipping hammers, scalers. All right, we did a series of alternating current runs on electrodes. We ran 6013, the old organic green. I don't know what brand it is and I don't care. 6013 is 6013 to me, and I know it runs on alternating current. Actually ran good too, by the way. So I ran 105 on the 1/8 inch 6013 on one lap weld. And then I turned the amperage down to run 7018, and I ran it a little bit lower than I normally do because the part was already superheated. So I ran it at 75. I wasn't trying to make a great big weld. So there's the two runs. This was the 7018 because I remember I had to start over here, wrap the corner, and come back and stop on top of that. And then we ran a stick of 316L that I know ran on AC or runs on AC. I did a little test here off camera and it came out nice and gold. It's got color to it. This one here, I went ahead and cooled off and I hit it with a wire wheel. You can see the spatter. I left the spatter on there. It happens. That's alternating current. This machine runs really quiet. It runs real quiet for AC. Normally, when I'm running on alternating current, it seems to be a loud buzz. This particular model here runs pretty quiet. This particular model here on alternating current, by the way, you can change the hertz even on stick welding. Okay, so I left it at 60 hertz or 60 cycles per second, but you can change it from 40 all the way to 200. There's some advantages there. So if it's super smooth on 60 hertz, imagine what it would be on 200. And it's still alternating current. I just think that's an advantage, and I think it's cool. Anyway, answering viewer questions. We've had some comment and stuff. You know, a long time ago we did this. Do I weld with alternating current on occasion? Yeah, because there's times I just cannot overcome arc blow. I've used it many a times when I'm doing like I-beams and putting a base plate on an I-beam. It always happens to me when I'm right back in the corner going around the flange into the web of the I-beam on the base plate. And you can't get back there with a grinder and fix anything, so your arc wanders around and does something weird. I'll just switch over to AC, run 70-14 or 70-24 or 70-18 or something, whatever it calls for, but I'll switch it over to AC if I can. Don't have to worry about arc blow anymore. Hope you found this entertaining and educational. Help us out and please subscribe to the channel and check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching Weld.com. I'm Bob Moffett. Hey, the audience is paying attention. I'm wondering what you're doing.
How can you tell it's organic?
This? The green rod. This looks organic. That's organic. Guarantee you. Oh, such a